your boy Davidoff, and welcome to Spoiler Talk. Basically, it's a review, but spoiler review. I'm mainly talking about the spoilers in the movie. I had a non-spoiler review that I did earlier today. It was done by Deadpool. Go and check it out. I did the Batman reviews, Lego Batman as well. If you want to check that out as well in my review playlist. Just my reviews don't get many views anyway, so I just thought I'd add some fun to it. So I did those two reviews. They were quite funny, in my opinion, anyway. But yeah, anyway, Logan. What a movie. It was very good. 8.5 out of 10 is my rating. I really enjoyed it. It was the action scenes were intense. They were intense. It was really good to watch. It was very dark. It was very dark. No movie has ever made me cry. And still no movie has ever made me cry, but this was quite close because the ending was emotional, but we'll get to that in a sec. We'll get to that at the end, though, basically. But the ending was emotional. It was emotional. Yeah, I was like, oh god. It had a very dark, like the whole movie had a dark tone, but that at the end, I mean, there were some comedic bits in it. There was some comedic bits where necessary. There was some good laughing parts in it, but it was, for the most part, it was dark, very dark at the end, very dark at the start. There were some comedy bits though. Between Wolverine and X-23, when they were talking to each other, there were some really funny bits between those two. There's some good chemistry on screen. It was really good to see. That ending was so dark. I'll get to that very soon. But yeah, the opening scene, he was sleeping in the car, right? And he gets out. People are trying to take the wheels off. Like, they don't know he's sleeping in the car, right? And he's like, he starts talking to them. They're Mexicans or something. He starts talking to them, and they shoot him down. Bear in mind, his healing powers have gone now. Well, they haven't gone, but they're a lot weaker now. And he's actually dying. Wolverine is dying. I mean, he can get treatment, but he doesn't want treatment. He's dying, and he wants to die. There's nothing gonna change that. He wants to die. Okay? He doesn't care about anything. He's working as a chauffeur at the moment. He's working as a limo driver, I think. Is that limo he drives? Some sort of vehicle, but he drives people around basically, like a taxi. He's one minute he's driving around 5 drunk girls on a party, probably on a hen night. Other times he's driving around men in suits. Then he's driving around a businessman. He's just driving around lots of people. That's his daily job. He doesn't care about life. He's dying, and he wants to die. He doesn't care when it happens. He just wants to die. Anyway, he has Charles Xavier hiding in Mexico, in a place in Mexico off the grid. Him, Charles, and someone else. I don't know who the other guy is. I can't remember his name. I can't remember what his powers were. I think he can smell. He can smell, and when he sees sunlight, his face burns off. So he has to stay away from light all the time. I can't remember who that is. I think he was in Apocalypse. I can't remember who that character is. Anyway, he's there with Charles Xavier, and Wolverine's coming back. He's going to some hospital in America to get medicine and drive people around. Obviously, he's going to get medicine. Come back to Mexico City, where not Mexico City, somewhere in the desert in Mexico, right? And they're just it's just 3 people living there. Wolverine, Charles, and the other guy. I can't remember his name. I'm pretty sure I remember his name, but yeah, he gets medicine from America in a hospital from a contact. Just goes outside to a contact, then he comes back to Mexico, gets medicine for Charles. And Charles has got brain disease. Don't know what it is. I think it's Alzheimer's, or might have been something else. Might have been a tumor. I don't know. But once in a while, he gets these reactions, these seizures. He gets seizures, right? And when Professor X gets a seizure, am I even pronouncing it right? Seizure. When Professor X gets a seizure, everything around him shakes. Everything. If you're near him, well, not real. If you're near him, you will get paralyzed temporarily, literally. Apart from Logan and X-23, you see, they can actually move very slowly though, very slowly. They have to like, basically Wolverine has to inject him with something every single day, and if he doesn't do it in time, he starts having the seizure, and everything around him is just shaking, completely shaking. Everyone around him is frozen, completely paralyzed, apart from Wolverine, who can actually move in it. Very slowly though, but he moves very slowly to try and inject it in, and he eventually gets it in. And he has to feed him tablets every day to just keep him alive, really, because he's gonna die, Professor X. It was coming. When you see this movie, you will know it was coming. That whole movie, you were just waiting for the moment for Professor X to die. He was going to die. It was inevitable. It was always going to happen. And yeah, it did. It happened. And it was crazy. It was absolutely crazy how it happened. I'll get to that later. But yeah, he's hiding him out, and eventually a woman comes to Logan for help at a funeral. You know that funeral in the trailer? It's not a funeral for mutants. It's for someone who's driving around. He drove someone around, and he was chauffeuring someone to a funeral and driving him home. So that wasn't a mutant funeral. But all mutants are gone now. I don't know where Deadpool is, but they said all mutants are gone. So it's 2029, by the way. This movie's set, and apparently everyone's gone apart from those three. And X-23 is part of a program of children who Mexican mothers are taken, and they're not taken, but they go there to give birth, right? And then they're killed. Basically, the mothers are killed, but the babies they give birth to are tested on, given powers, and yeah, they get tortured, they get given powers. They try to create weapons out of them, basically, and then eventually they shut the program down. So when they shut that down, they had to kill every child. But one of the nurses there saved as many as she could, saved as many kids as she could, helped them escape. That same nurse went to Logan for help. Basically, they had to get to Dakota, either North Dakota or South Dakota, I can't remember, but somewhere in Dakota. They have to get to Dakota where there's a safe place, and apparently everyone's gone there. All the escapees have gone there, apart from X-23, who's with the nurse. They got separated, but yeah, Wolverine says no a few times, but eventually he tries to help her, X-23, because the people behind the program are after her. Like the first, in the desert, the scene in the trailer was quite early in the movie. When X-23 fights a lot of them, she takes out like half of them. Then eventually they take her down. But Wolverine's there and he's not holding back. He's saving her. He's tearing up people left and right, through the heads, through the bodies. X-23 as well. It's brutal. It's absolutely brutal. The way they get killed is absolutely brutal. So then they got to this hotel, right? And Logan goes to get rid of the car to get a new one, and. But while Logan's gone, all the men are there to find X-23. They're in a hotel room in Las Vegas with Professor X and X-23, right? And he has a seizure. He has a seizure at the most convenient time, because literally they're about to kill him. They're about to kill him, and he has a seizure. He has a seizure, and Wolverine has to like slowly struggle to get to Professor X, just to go upstairs and get him. And on his way there, he knifes everyone. He kills everyone who's about to kill him. There's about 6-7 people there. Wolverine takes them all out. Well, and basically, because they're in a hotel, everyone in a hotel is paralyzed. Even the cars outside, so they crash into each other. People die. I think people died anyway. It didn't show any people die, but yeah, that is absolutely brutal. Then they go to some family's house, and this was the crazy bit. This shocked me a bit, right? So Professor X is talking to Logan. Professor X is in bed, emotionally talking to Logan, right? But it's not Logan, and I'm thinking, wait, he looks a bit different, because he shaved. I was like, wait, when did he shave? Isn't he outside the house? Isn't he outside the house? How did he shave? Because I was thinking that, and he was wearing different clothes as well. I was like, wait, what? He got new clothes? When was this? Right? And then he killed Professor X. He didn't kill him immediately, not instantly, but he put his fist to his chest. He put his fist to his chest and claws out, right? But it wasn't Logan. It was a clone of Logan. Oh my god. I didn't know. It took me a few seconds as well. It took me a few seconds to think, wait a second, what? Yeah, I mean, if you've seen it, you know what I mean. I was like, whoa, mate, what was that? Look, this is not just any clone, right? This clone is a monster. It has no soul. It doesn't talk. It just kills. It's a killing machine, basically. It's programmed to kill. Basically what Logan was supposed to be, what they supposed to make him to be, erase his memory and stuff. He had no conscience. He was a direct clone of Wolverine. But because Logan's older and his healing factor's gone away, this clone has got a healing factor, but a stronger version of that healing factor. And and he's a lot stronger, a lot more agile. You can't just simply kill him. You guessed it, we got Wolverine versus Wolverine, right? Charles Xavier is stabbed in the chest, but he dies. Logan gets back, he gets back to Charles, and Charles dies in that bed. Wolverine's clone killed Charles. What a brutal way to die as well. What a brutal way to die. They find the place, there's other kids there, but the guys are still after him. The guys are still after him. The main villains, all the main guys. I mean, a lot of them have been killed at this point, but there's still a lot left, and they're all going after the kids, right? And the kids have to go to go to a border, right? I don't know. They have to go across. There's woods. They're at the top of a hill, right? Then there's woods. Then there's a border on the other side, and they have to get to the other side to be safe completely. And well, the villains with their armies come after the kids, and some of them die. Yeah, as I said, it'll be very dark. There's the ending sequence. I told you it was dark, right? So be prepared. These kids are powers though, so they can defend themselves to an extent. But yeah, we get a final showdown, and yeah, there's two main villains. There's one main guy who you see in the trailers. There's a guy above him pulling the strings and everything, so he turns up as well. Wolverine just kills him straight away. He doesn't kill him with his claws though, because basically at this point his health is completely deteriorated. It looks like he's got on the verge of death, and he takes some green medicine that he just drinks all of it, and it gives him power temporarily. That's how he can, like, if you see that, you've seen part of that woods scene in the trailer. That's the last sequence, right? He temporarily gets power, and then eventually, after he takes so many people out, he destroys so many people left, right, and center. Him and X-23 together, they destroy so many people. So many soldiers are just dead, clawed up, cut up, legs chopped off, arms chopped off, heads chopped off. Right? It's absolutely brutal. Eventually, that green medicine wears off, but he gets a gun. He gets a gun and he shoots both villains. He shoots one in the head who's dead, and he shoots the other guy in the arm. And then they get into a big brawl, and all the kids help as well. X-23 comes in, takes out some of the guys who's got some of the kids hostage, and yeah, they just and all the kids come together and help. But yeah, the villain, well, not the main villain who's dead right now. This other guy, he's killed by the kids. Yeah, he is killed by the kids because Wolverine has to handle the clone of Wolverine. So the final battle is him versus his clone, and it's absolutely brutal. Absolutely brutal. And pretty much, like, you see, what I don't get is, why didn't the kids help him? Why didn't the kids help him? That's what I don't get. Why didn't the kids help him? It was just Wolverine against Wolverine, but, you know, the other one was clearly stronger. I don't know, I guess they wanted to make it a 1-1 fight. Long story short, it was an epic fight, and Wolverine dies. But what happens to the Wolverine that kills Wolverine, the clone of Wolverine? Well, he gets shot dead. And you must be thinking, wait, he has a healing factor. Well, he got shot by an adamantium bullet. Logan carried around an adamantium bullet in his pocket or something. I don't know why, yeah, he carried it around to remind him of what he is. And yeah, that bullet is strong enough to kill any Wolverine. Oh, I forgot to mention, X-23 is his daughter. X-23 is his daughter. It's actually his daughter. Okay, how cool is that? You know that scene, you know that type of scene when someone's dying and the child is next to them? You know, that type of scene, that was what that scene was. It was emotional as hell. Wolverine's one of my favourite comic book characters, so this was emotional. This was emotional. So yeah, they have that moment, then Wolverine dies. His healing factor's gone at this point, so yeah. He was dying the whole movie, and he dies. But at least he did something good. He saved all the kids. They would have all died if it wasn't for him. So yeah, he did something right, and it ends there. It ends at his funeral. He dies, and then straight away at his funeral, they bury him in the woods. His daughter reads something out with the other kids. Then they start walking away, walking to the border, and that's the end. That's the end. It might sound a bit anticlimactic, but trust me, it was an amazing movie, emotional ending, very dark, and I really enjoyed it. I want to see it again. I want to see it again at some point. I'll probably go in a few days or so. That was a masterpiece. I saw it in IMAX as well, which is, if you have the option to see, if you can afford to see it in IMAX, then go and see it in IMAX because it is worth it. IMAX is always worth it, to be honest with you. Apart from a few exceptions, maybe. Like I watched The Great Wall in IMAX and it was not worth it. But this was worth it. This was worth it. So yeah, this was longer than I expected, but yeah, this was your boy Davidoff. Please like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a good day and see ya.